Phantom Fighter is definitely one of those weird NES games you don't hear a lot about. It's got some cool things going on with it, flies pretty low on the radar in terms of martial art games, but sadly, it does have one big flaw to get past. Phantom Fighter is a side-scrolling beat-em-up akin to Kung Fu and Trojan. You play as a martial art master and an all-around do-gooder, Kenshi, who must clean up the 8 towns and get rid of a witch who's been bringing back the dead to life. The main baddies in this game are called Qianshis, which are a half-vampire, half-zombie creature, and they hop all over the place like bunny rabbits for some reason. Doing some digging around online, this type of Chinese monster was incredibly popular during the 80s in Asia, and it all started with a kung fu comedy horror movie called Mr. Vampire from 1985. In fact, the Japanese Famicom version of this game is the adaptation of that movie. Weird, eh? Regardless, Qianshis come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes in Phantom Fighter. There's big ones, small ones, tall ones to beat up, so lots of variety here. The goal of each town is to find 3 jade balls to unseal the boss's lair. As you clear out buildings, you'll rescue the locals, and they'll give you hints as well as items or ancient scrolls which act as our currency too. And you'll be grinding a lot for them as you can visit training halls and can pick from a list of new moves to add to your arsenal. Well, that is if you can get past the skill testing question first. I'm not kidding.
But, you know nothing, little man.
You can increase the amount of punches and kicks thrown, jump higher, move faster, learn new moves like the devastating turn kick. Pro tip, get this as soon as possible in the second town. It'll be worth it, trust me. But let's talk about that flaw now. Okay, you have to get used to the controls. No, not what button does what, but the actual movement. See, in the beginning you'll be bumping into Qianshis constantly because you don't stop on a dime like in Mega Man or Castlevania. You have weight and momentum as you move, so learning where to stand and attack is the key to getting anywhere in this cart. And this is one of those games that uses up on the D-pad to jump, so be aware of that. Surely you've noticed the graphics by now.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
And while the outside portions are pretty okay, inside the buildings are the real standouts to me. The temples have big statues and decorations, some of the halls have waxed floors, and the rundown buildings have numerous talismans hanging around to ward off evil. There's lots of great looking locations to fight in. Gardens, shacks, classrooms, caves, among others. Even your attacks have nice, smooth-looking animations. It's pretty good. I mentioned the items previously, but you may have noticed an assistant following you around. This nameless guy carries your extra stuff, and you can get a few extra items to help you along the way, like a talisman to freeze Qianshis, a mirror which can stun them, a sword for extra reach, and a bell that can be used to recruit a baby Qianshi that's damn near useless. Seriously, don't waste your time getting the baby Qianshi. He sucks.
He was a baby once.
Everyone hated that baby.
Hated a baby?
Unfortunately, if you use your items too much or get hit and fall down, they may break. In my playthrough, I hardly used any of them, and you can get by just fine pulverizing those vamps with your punches and kicks, really. Phantom Fighter isn't necessarily the hardest game. It features a password system and infinite continues. But there are some tricky areas in the game, like the flying boss in level 4. Oh, he can be a freaking butthead. But overall, you shouldn't have much trouble with the game if you just stick to it.
Son of a bitch must pay.
Here's another pro tip. Clean out the temple when you arrive in a new town. You get free healing when you do so, and it'll make your phantom busting life a lot easier. Oh, and stay away from the dropkick move you get towards the end of the game. It changes up your controls a bit, makes your turn kick a bit harder to use, so be aware of that. Just stay away from the dropkick.
You taught me using any technique that works. Never to limit myself to one style. To keep an open mind.
Jesus!
The game has a few catchy musical tracks too, my favorite being the outside theme. Here, take a listen. Freedom Fighter is a really good time once you get used to the controls. There's 8 towns to beat, with lots of moves to buy as well as upgrades too. You can get the optional items to help you out, and the music and graphics are pretty damn good. Fun or fail? This game is fun, just practice, young grasshopper. I'm Will, for those about the retro, we salute you. Take care.